Assalamualaikum dear students, I am Anjum Shafiq, your biology teacher for grade 10, and today I am going to discuss the exercise of chapter number 13. So let's move.
So dear students, today we are going to solve the exercise of chapter number 13, that is support and movement. And so let's move to first part, that is multiple choice questions, or MCQs. So let's move to the first MCQ, that is find the ball and socket joint. तो dear students, हमने joints के टॉपिक में इसको डिटेल से पढ़ा था, बॉल एंड सॉकेट जॉइंट्स. इसमें एक बोन का जो हेड है वो बॉल के तौर पर एक्ट कर और दूसरी बोन उसके अंदर एक डिप्रेशन होता है जिसको हम सॉकेट कहते हैं, और ये फ्रीली मूवेबल जॉइंट की क्लासिफिकेशन मैंने डिटेल से पढ़ा था. सो जॉइंट इज इन द फिंगर बोन्स, नॉट डियर स्टूडेंट्स, फिंगर बोन्स के अंदर जॉइंट दैट इज नॉट अ बॉल एंड सॉकेट जॉइंट. जॉइंट ऑफ नेक एंड स्कल बोन्स, नॉट डियर स्टूडेंट्स, दैट इज अ पिवट जॉइंट, दैट इज नॉट अ ball and socket joint. Joint at elbow, elbow joint, dear student, that is hinge joint, not a ball and socket joint. And option delta says joint at pelvic girdle and leg bone. Just dear student, that is the correct option. हमारी जो pelvic girdle होती है यानी hip bone और जो leg bone यानी thigh bone जो होती है उसमें जो उसके दरम्यान जो joint होता है that is ball and socket joint. So correct option for this MCQ is delta option, joint at pelvic girdle and leg bone. Now the next MCQ is all these are the part of axial skeleton of human except. तो dear students, हमने components of human skeleton पढ़े थे, उसमें axial skeleton and appendicular skeleton. तो axial skeleton हमने सारी डिटेल्स पढ़ी, appendicular skeleton भी पढ़ा. हमारे पास क्वेश्चन ये है कि नीचे दिए के स्ट्रक्चर्स में से कौन सा ऐसा हिस्सा है जो कि एक्सियल स्केलेटन का नहीं है, विच इज ऑल ऑफ दीज आर द पार्ट ऑफ एक्सियल स्केलेटन एक्सेप्ट. इसमें कौन सा ऐसा पार्ट है या कौन सा ऐसा हिस्सा है जो कि एक्सियल स्केलेटन का हिस्सा नहीं है. सो रिब्स एल्फ ऑप्शन, दैट इज द पार्ट ऑफ एक्सियल स्केलेटन, सो इट इज नॉट द आंसर ऑफ आवर क्वेश्चन क्योंकि उन्होंने हमसे एक्सेप्शन पूछी है. Option beta is sternum. So sternum is there, the ribs are attached to the sternum, the chest bone. So this is also a part of axial skeleton. Option Charlie is shoulder girdle. So dear students, shoulder girdle जो है it is made up of two bones. हमने डिटेल से डिस्कस किया था. Number one is clavicle or the collarbone. And number two is scapula. So these are not the part of axial skeleton. They are the part of appendicular skeleton. So Charlie option is correct for this MCQ. It is not the part of axial skeleton. Option delta is vertebral column. So vertebral column is also the part of axial skeleton. Next MCQ is that is salter in which there is an accumulation of uric acid in joints. So these students is चैप्टर का बिल्कुल लास्ट टॉपिक हमने पढ़ा था डिसऑर्डर्स में. तो जॉइंट्स के अंदर यूरिक एसिड का कलेक्ट हो जाना, ये कौन सी डिजीज़ है. सो ऑप्शन डेल्टा इज ऑस्टियोआर्थराइटिस, नॉट डियर स्टूडेंट्स. ऑप्शन चार इज ऑस्टियोप्रोसिस, ये तो फीमेल्स के साथ रिलेटेड डिजीज़ थी एस्ट्रोजन लेवल कम हो जाने की वजह से भी. ऑप्शन बीटा इज रोमाटॉइड आर्थराइटिस, नो डियर स्टूडेंट्स. रोमाटॉइड आर्थराइटिस में हमने पढ़ा था दैट इज देयर इज इन्फ्लेमेशन, सो इट इज़ नॉट ऑल्सो our answer. So uric acid accumulation की वजह से जो डिजीज होती है that is called as gout, जिसको जो उर्दू में हम कहते हैं गैंठिया. So option A is correct for this MCQ. The disorder in which there is an accumulation of uric acid in the joints is gout. आमतौर पर ये जो टोज होते हैं हमारे फुट के उनको इफेक्ट करती है, और टोज में भी जो बिग टो है उसको ज़्यादा इफेक्ट होती है, ये उसको इफेक्ट करती है. नेक्स्ट MCQ is what is correct about tendons. तो डियर स्टूडेंट्स हमने पढ़े थे tendons and ligaments, उसमें डिफरेंस डिटेल से समझाया था आपको. So what is correct about tendons? So let's start from the option alpha. Tendons are flexible. तो डियर स्टूडेंट्स यहीं से गलत हो गया. tendons flexible हों तो फिर हमारे जो मूवमेंट है मसल्स की वो जब भी हम कोई वजनी चीज़ हैवी ऑब्जेक्ट उठाएंगे तो वो नीचे को मुड़ सकता है. So that is not a correct option. Tendons are non-elastic. सो ये बात तो यहाँ तक तो बात ठीक है, लेकिन अगले आगे क्या कह रहे हैं, एंड दे ज्वाइन बोन विद बोन, नो डियर स्टूडेंट्स, बोन विद बोन को ज्वाइन करते हैं लिगामेंट्स, दैट इज नॉट द टेंडन. सो ऑप्शन बीटा इज ऑल्सो नॉट करेक्ट. नाउ द ऑप्शन चार्ली, tendons are non-elastic and they join muscles with bone. Yes, my dear student, that is the correct option. एक तो non-elastic होते हैं and they join muscles, मसल के एंड के ऊपर मौजूद होते हैं at origin and insertion, and they help in the attachment with the bone. So Charlie option is correct for this. That is, the tendons are non-elastic and they join muscle with bone. And delta option says tendons are flexible. No, dear student, flexible नहीं होते. ये यहीं से गलत हो गया. So correct option for this MCQ is Charlie. Next MCQ is how many bones make our skull? तो definitely सबको याद आ गया होगा. Option alpha is 14. So 14 bones were present in the facial region. So facial bones 14 हैं. Option beta is 22. Yes, dear student, that is the correct option. Our skull contains 22 bones, 8 cranial bones, and 14 are the facial bones. So correct answer for this MCQ is beta, that is 22. Option Charlie is 24, no dear students, and option delta is 26, that is also not correct. So correct answer for this MCQ is beta, that is 22. Next MCQ is what are the main components of a bone? हमने बोन का स्ट्रक्चर पढ़ा था, उसमें कंपोनेंट्स हमने डिस्कस किए थे. तो कौन कौन से कंपोनेंट्स हैं? मैरो मीन्स कि यहाँ पर बोन मैरो की बात हो रही है. एंड स्पॉन्जी बोन, यस इट इज ऑल्सो द पार्ट ऑफ बोन, कंपोनेंट ऑफ बोन. एंड वैक्स, नो डियर स्टूडेंट्स, वैक्स तो हमने कहीं पर भी नहीं पढ़ा बोन के किसी भी कंपोनेंट में. सो ऑप्शन अल्फा इज नॉट करेक्ट. नेक्स्ट इज मैरो, कॉम्पैक्ट बोन एंड वैक्स. So again there is wax, so it is not correct. Option Charlie says compact bone and marrow. So our bone not only contains the compact bone, there is another structure. So this option is not also up to the mark. Only option remaining is delta option that says compact bone, spongy bone and marrow, means bone marrow. So dear students, that is the correct answer. So the bones are made up of two major layers, outer compact bone and the inner is the spongy bone, and inside the spongy bone there is bone marrow. So correct option is delta for this MCQ. Let's move to another MCQ. It says what do some bones produce? कि कुछ हड्डियां क्या प्रोड्यूस कर सकती हैं? Alpha option is mucus. No dear students, they do not contain the mucous cells. Beta option is hormones. No, the bones do not produce hormones. Option Charlie is oxygen. No dear students, oxygen is not produced by the bones. And option delta is blood cells. Yes dear students, blood cells are produced from the bone marrow, as we have read and you have read in the previous grade. So white blood cells and the red blood cells and platelets, all these are formed from the bone marrow. So the correct option is delta, that is blood cells. Next question is how would you define skeletal system? So हम skeletal system को किस तरह से define कर सकते हैं? All the bones in the body? तो dear students, हम यहाँ पर skeleton की बात नहीं कर रहे, skeletal system की बात कर रहे हैं. So सिर्फ bones नहीं होती. So alpha option is not appropriate. Option beta says all muscles and tendons. No dear students, सिर्फ muscles और tendons नहीं बनाते, bones भी तो होती हैं. All the body organs, both soft and hard tissues. No dear students, body organs do not make the skeletal system. The only option remaining is the delta option. It says all the bones in the body and the tissues that connect them. Yes, that is the most appropriate answer in these choices. So delta is the answer for this question. Next question is find the incorrect statement. तो नीचे 4 स्टेटमेंट्स दी गई हैं, उनमें से हमने इनकरेक्ट स्टेटमेंट को ढूंढना है. बोन इज वेयर मोस्ट ब्लड सेल्स आर फॉर्म्ड आर मेड. यस इट इज करेक्ट. अभी हमने पढ़ा था व्हाइट ब्लड सेल्स, रेड ब्लड सेल्स, platelets, all these are formed in the bones. It is correct. So it is not our answer. We have to find the incorrect statement. बोन सेल्स एज अ स्टोर हाउस फॉर वेरियस मिनरल्स. यस डियर स्टूडेंट्स, हमने पढ़ा था बोन के अंदर कैल्शियम, फॉस्फेट्स वगैरह ये स्टोर होते हैं. सो इट एक्ट्स एज अ स्टोर हाउस फॉर वेरियस मिनरल्स. And option Charlie is bone is a dry and non-living supporting tissue. So dear students, that is not correct. That is incorrect statement. Bone, it is not non-living, it is a living tissue, and it is not dry. It contains blood vessels, it contains bone marrow. So it is not the correct option, not the correct statement about which is related to the bone. So it is the correct answer of our MCQ. उन्होंने कहा था कि फाइंड द इनकरेक्ट स्टेटमेंट, तो यही इनकरेक्ट स्टेटमेंट है. एंड डेल्टा ऑप्शन सेज बोन प्रोटेक्ट्स एंड सपोर्ट्स द बॉडी एंड इट्स ऑर्गन्स. तो ये बिल्कुल ठीक है, प्रोटेक्ट भी करती है, सपोर्ट भी करती है अपने ऑर्गन्स को. सो द आंसर फॉर दिस MCQ इज Charlie option. It says the bone is dry, that is incorrect, and non-living, that is also incorrect. Next option says the purpose of rib cage is to. जो rib cage हमने बात की थी, rib cage कैसे बनता है dear students? It is formed by the sternum and the rib, 24 ribs and the vertebra and the intercostal muscles, etc. etc. So what is the purpose? हमारा जो rib cage है, जो chest cavity बना रहा है, उसका function क्या है? ऑप्शन अल्फा इज टू प्रोटेक्ट द स्टमक. नो डियर स्टूडेंट्स, स्टमक तो रिब केज में है नहीं, वो नीचे एब्डोमिनल कैविटी में मौजूद है. इट इज नॉट करेक्ट ऑप्शन. ऑप्शन बीटा इज टू प्रोटेक्ट स्पाइनल कॉर्ड. नो डियर स्टूडेंट्स, स्पाइनल कॉर्ड को प्रोटेक्ट करने के लिए अल्लाह ताला ने वर्टिब्रल कॉलम बनाया है. ऑप्शन 40 says protect the heart and the lungs. Yes dear student, that is correct. There are two lungs and a heart in the center, in the mediastinum, that is protected by the rib cage. So correct option is Charlie, that heart and lungs are protected by, that is the purpose of rib cage. Option delta says provide an object to which the lungs can attach. No. So the most appropriate answer of this MCQ is Charlie, that is protect the lungs and hearts. Here are some short questions. Differentiate between cartilage and bone. Cartilage is a dense, clear, blue-white, firm connective tissue, but less strong than a bone. And bone is the hardest connective tissue in body. The cells of cartilage are called chondrocytes, and the mature bone cells are called as osteocytes. Here is another question. What is the role of skeleton in support and movement? So dear students, there are different types of skeletons. We have discussed exoskeleton and endoskeleton. There are some types, and the endoskeleton consists of bone and cartilage. There are three types of cartilage, including hairline, elastic, and fibrous cartilage. They help in movement as well as support. And the bone includes the compact bone and spongy bone. The compact bone provides the attachment to the muscles, and the spongy bone, it have the bone marrow, which is involved in the production of blood cells. Here's the next question. What is the role of skeleton in support and movement? The big functions of skeletal system are protection, support, and movements. In our body, the skeleton works very close with the muscular system to help us move. Similarly, the skeleton provides protection to many internal organs. Like we have discussed, the skull protects the brain, the vertebral column protects the spinal cord, and the ribs protects the most of our other internal organs, like the ribs are protecting heart and lungs. So the vertebral column also provides the main support to our body mass. Here's the next question. How would you differentiate between osteoporosis and arthritis? So dear students, in osteoporosis, there is a decrease in the density of bones due to the loss of calcium and phosphorus. It may be due to malnutrition, means the lack of proteins and vitamin C, lack of physical activities, or deficiency of estrogen hormone. And it is more common among the females and aged females, osteoporosis. While arthritis means inflammation in the joints or inflammation of the joints. It is characterized by pain and stiffness in the joints, particularly in the weight-bearing joints. For example, the hip joint ankle joint, etc. Here's the next question. Label the biceps and triceps in the following diagrams and also mention their contracted or relaxed traits. So dear students, here is on the upper side there is the biceps in the contracted form, and in the second diagram here is the triceps that is in the contracted form, and in the third in the first diagram here is the triceps relaxed, while in this condition in the second diagram there is biceps relaxed. So these are the antagonist muscles. ये एक दूसरे के ऑपोजिट काम करते हैं. जब फ्लेक्शन होगी तब बाइसेप्स कॉन्ट्रैक्ट करेगा और ट्राइसेप्स रिलैक्स करेगा, और जब एक्सटेंशन होगी तो तब ट्राइसेप्स कॉन्ट्रैक्ट करेगा और बाइसेप्स रिलैक्स करेगा. Next question is, what are the main components of axial skeleton and the appendicular skeleton of human body? So dear students, हम यहाँ पर main components की बात हुई है. तो axial skeleton which is based upon 80 bones. It consists of skull, vertebral column, sternum, and the ribs. So these are the four major components of axial skeleton, making up the 80 bones. And here is appendicular skeleton. Appendicular skeleton consists of 2 girdles and 2 limbs. So the first one is the pectoral girdle, or which is also called a shoulder girdle, and the next one is the arms containing the forearm and the hand, and then there is the pelvic girdle, and it consists of to which there are attached the legs. Describe the types of joints and give examples. So dear students, the types of joint, there are 3 types of joints on the basis of their functions or mobility. And first are the immovable joints or fixed joints. The joints, an example is the joints between the skull bones. And the next is slightly movable joints. These are joints between the vertebra, the intervertebral joints. And the third one are the movable joints. They are further classified into hinge joint and ball and socket joint. Hinge joint, its examples are knee joint and elbow joint, while the ball and socket joint, it consists of hip joint and the shoulder joints. Here is another question. What are ligaments and tendons? What the function do they perform? So dear students, इसको डिटेल से हमने डिस्कस किया था. Tendons and ligaments are the bands of connective tissue. They are made up of collagen protein. And difference is tendons are tough bands and attach muscles to bone. ये ऐसे कनेक्टिव टिश्यू हैं जो मसल्स को बोन के साथ अटैच करते हैं और ये नॉन इलास्टिक होते हैं. While a muscle contracts, the tendon exerts a pulling force on the attached bone, which moves as a result. While ligaments are strong but are flexible, ये थोड़े से flexible होते हैं, and they are present at the joints. They join a bone to another bone at the joint. They prevent the dislocation of the bones at joints. Here is another question. Explain antagonism in muscle action, selecting biceps and triceps as an example. So antagonistic action के स्टूडेंट हमने बात की थी कि हमारे बॉडी में जो skeletal muscles होते हैं, they are mostly in the form of pairs. तो उसमें जो पेयर होता है उसमें एक मसल फ्लेक्सर होता है, दूसरा एक्सटेंसर होता है. यहाँ पर हम एग्जांपल के तौर पर ले रहे हैं बाइसेप्स और ट्राइसेप्स को. These are the muscles present in the upper arm and the lower arm. When a muscle contracts, when one muscle contracts, the other relaxes. This phenomenon is called as antagonism, and this is also called as antagonistic action. इसमें dear students, there is a flexor muscle. Flexor muscle is biceps. When the muscle contracts and bends the bone at the joint, this is called as flexor muscle, and the movement is called as flexion. While the muscle which straightens the bone at the joint is called as extensor muscle, and the movement is called as extension.
So dear students, hopefully आज का लेक्चर भी आपको क्लैरिफाई हो गया होगा. मिलते हैं नेक्स्ट लेक्चर में, तब तक अपना ख्याल रखिएगा. अल्लाह हाफिज़.